So yeah, sorry.
No, you're good.
Yeah, so obviously Mike and Okianu there. Yeah, uh, feel free to obviously please share and retweet. We're trying. It's kind of an impromptu chat. Literally, we set up this literally super last minute just to
Yeah.
have a nice quick chat on a Friday
No,
night about
thank
some
you,
cool
man.
stuff.
It's yeah, it's tough to get people wrangled in on a Friday night too, for sure. But thanks for making yourself available. I really appreciate it. And we're just like powering through this IDO, man, trying to just make the most of it and just um market it away.
Yeah, nice. How's it been going so far too? Has it been going all right,
It's
or
been going,
feeling?
yeah, man. No, it's been going great. I mean, the first round, the whitelist round, there's 10% made available, and there was 8% at the end of that round. And then this next round, we're literally 1% away from the soft cap. So, and then fair distribution starts tomorrow. So, yeah, man, I'm very optimistic, and I'm happy with the results. And no matter what happens, dude, like we want to be able to keep building. Like, that's the main thing. Like let's bootstrap this. I mean, we've already dug pretty deep in our pockets, so like let's the community's helping, and we're going to be able to power through. And I mean, we're already over like halfway there, so I mean, we're really going to be able to complete an awesome application, some really cool node opportunities, and then after that, just get cracking on the underlying infrastructure that we're building as well. So excited, man. Just
Yeah,
stoked about that.
yeah, that's awesome. I was going to say, and that kind of leads into what we're chatting about today. Is I'm just trying to find the message right now that you guys posted about your your nodes and stuff that you also announced kind
Oh,
of finally that you're able
yeah.
to do. So I'm just trying. You
It
tweeted
was
that, right? Like
yeah, no, it was actually a
it was
Medium
coin.
article.
Oh, it was a Medium article.
It was
Okay.
the Medium
So I'm like,
article,
where did I
yeah.
see that? I'm like, where did I see this? Where did I see this? Was it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
let me shoot you over a link really quick.
Yeah,
That
no,
way,
do
yeah,
that.
man, we can dig through that. And I know, like, everybody gets super pumped about nodes, and myself too, who doesn't like passive income, especially in a market like this, man.
Well, and and in reality, it's we had chatted kind of privately about this. Is that
uh
it's you guys are going for the Raspberry Pi method too, which is
yeah,
as far
yeah,
as being kind of maybe not like necessarily user friendly if you want to start making them, but you can really
uh
just watch a YouTube video and start making them, and they're
yeah,
very easy to run. They're not a big miner, it's just like a hard drive and a USB drive, basically,
nobody
for the
knows.
most part, aren't they? Like,
uh, I think cutting out, either you're cutting out or I'm losing connection.
oh, was I cutting
I
out?
think so.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it was me or if it was...
Hopefully, I wasn't. But basically, I was mentioning that I might have been blocking my microphone. Who knows? But can you hear me fine
Yeah, no,
now?
you sound great, man. Yeah, you good.
Yeah, okay. No, I was just mentioning that you guys are going the Raspberry Pi route,
Yeah.
obviously, and then that like those are, for someone who's just getting started, like those aren't massive miners.
No.
But my knowledge on them is pretty short, but they're basically just like a hard drive and a USB drive, basically, aren't they?
Well,
Like
yeah,
they're very
the Pi 4s.
small, right?
Yeah, the Pi 4s actually support like gigabyte internet, and dude, there's little tiny SD cards that you could put in. They're like the M.2s, they're called, and you can get like a terabyte, or you can get like 2 terabytes out of like a little tiny freaking M.2, man. And it's all usable space, which is awesome. And like the Pis were more like just like kind of me playing around with them and seeing like, all right, will this work like on IPFS? And like, and yeah, man, I mean, people are running it. We're able to deploy like a container off there, and I mean, it's exciting, dude, because it's like not resource intensive. You can plug it in, not really worry about your electricity bill. It's something that we could easily program, so we could have it run a few scripts, when it boots up, and launch a container, and then boom, like, you can connect to our network auto magically. So I mean, it's just like a really cool, small, like it's like the future, you know, like this little tiny miner that you got going. It's just like storing 2 terabytes worth of data and writing to ledgers all day and validating transactions out of like this, just this little guy. It's really cool, man.
Yeah, well, and as you're saying as well, have you guys thought of? I mean, I guess obviously you guys have certain things on the mind right now with the IDO and everything,
Yeah.
but have you thought of possibly going to, a company and asking them if they would actually, make Raspberry Pi, miners for like for the open market basically, or?
Well, yeah, man. Well, what we're kind of doing right now is I went on Alibaba and I found like I went through a few different vendors and it's not the first time I've went on there and like sourced equipment and stuff. But yeah, man, I'm gonna just make an order of like 100 of them. Once I find like a really good like vendor with solid equipment. Right now it's kind of like just testing them out and seeing buying one offs. But then we're gonna just like build them in house, write the scripts, launch it, and then like just bootstrap it, dude, the way we know how to do, like put it together ourselves and yeah, cut out that middleman and be able to provide them directly to the community and see how they perform, how they do. And then after that, it's like that's like the proof of concept. We want to like hook up people in the community at a good price and have this cool little miner. Then after that, yeah, man, definitely once it's all nailed down, then and we have some funds to do it, then we would approach somebody to kind of like mass produce them, because I know like dude, like every miner that goes out on the shelves is like it's gone almost immediately. So I mean it's definitely something cool, but the reality is, man, with these pies, dude, you could do it yourself. Like, and we want to host a tutorial on how to exactly how to launch that instance of IPFS from the Pi. And because really what's important is having a vast network for us. I mean, we're not here to make a killing off of miners, although it'd be cool to get into, and it's definitely fun. But really, we want to make the network accessible and easy to join into for as many people as possible, because that's what we need. I mean, we need people participating in order to be able to support mass amounts of volume. And of course we're going to be like running a ton of like servers to bootstrap it and to get started ourselves, and support it even if everybody else drops off. But outside of that, man, we really want the community involved, and that's what's gonna revolve around, is everybody out there kind of participating and benefiting on both sides.
And that would obviously be the you know um decentralized nature, obviously.
Exactly, yeah, hell yeah.
And I can definitely, I'll look around and I'll let you know any of the Asian dealers I know
Yeah,
that
yeah, please,
deal on
man.
the more technical, like just raw material level for sure. And
Yeah.
we'll try and hook that up, because it's awesome when obviously, as you're saying for yourselves, you guys have other plans and other things, but it's something that
Uh,
it's something that you want to be able to at least facilitate for your users, which is awesome.
exactly.
And yeah,
Exactly.
I think I was breaking up at the time, but I mentioned that like it is pretty much the Raspberry Pi. You can really just go on YouTube and,
Yeah.
make one. No, like they have
Yeah,
a
man.
couple
No, yeah.
tutorials
I
and
mean, yeah, I mean, I've put machines like built computers before and stuff and know the basics, but really, dude, it's not complicated at all. Like anybody can go on, follow a tutorial, and it's just super easy and it's super fun. And there's like 100 different things more, like, obviously more than that, but like 100 different things you could do with a Raspberry Pi. You could, you can launch a mail server. You can do like you could, launch a web server. You can I mean, that's just touching the basics, dude. You could, host like what are those little like game boxes that have like Super Nintendo games, all that stuff. There's it's endless, man, the power behind like these little tiny computers. So I mean, it'll be another cool little reason to invest inside this little technology, man. That is, I really dig it. They're
yeah.
definitely not supercomputers, though. I mean,
Yeah. Well, I was
processing
gonna
power
say,
isn't infinite.
Yeah, I was gonna say you yourself only just started messing around with Raspberry
Yeah,
Pi recently, right? Like
yeah.
you're very briefly into crypto yourself as well. So, yeah, it's just cool. I didn't ever really look into them myself, but I did see them, I have definitely have heard
Mhm.
about them before. But yeah, it was interesting to me just to think of, I'm more of just a hash rate guy though. So of course I was like, I
Mhm.
want an ASIC.
Right.
but,
No, hell yeah.
but yeah. But that's how that
Mhm.
goes.
No,
But
most
I
definitely.
also want to mention, like, if anybody else from the crowd wants to come up, this is an open chat. We're not really,
Mhm.
this is super impromptu. If anything, obviously, just try and keep it to, the topics of crypto and nodes and all that kind
Yeah.
of jazz. And if you
Kadena.
have any questions for Docushield or anything, just let us know and feel free to pop up, and we'll bring you up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So,
Anyways, but no, to talk back about the nodes for yourselves, you guys are offering, a few different types of nodes, right? Like I know this
yeah.
is kind of something I'm looking into literally right now because, again, it's like
uh-huh.
it's one of those things where if you have the money, obviously, as everyone's saying right now, we're in a bear
Uh,
market, so it's time to get into stuff, right? But for
uh,
myself, it's like I missed the boat on the Flux nodes. I really wanted to get a Flux node, in like November, I think, or whatever. And
uh,
then the price really went up of it. It was like at the time, the lowest, I think the 10,000 node
mhm,
was like $2,000 when I was looking,
mhm.
and then it quickly became like $20,000, and I was like, no, you know.
Yeah.
But now that
Yeah.
everything's back down, not
Mhm.
specifically with Flux or anything, but I
No,
feel
yeah.
like a lot of these node projects are really cool things to get into,
Everybody.
especially in these bear market times, just
Uh,
because, I guess I should say not financial advice, but
yeah.
just because of that kind of like you said earlier, they're more passive income and stuff, right? And it's kind of like you can put your
exactly.
stuff there and it's not even like staking, like you're not
Mhm.
actually locking up your funds, you can almost kind of get it back a little bit easier and
Mhm.
really kind of control, a lot of node projects. I don't know if I think you guys are going to have a certain node that or I don't know if it was you or not, but there's nodes that also in certain projects gain governance and everything too, like
Mhm.
stakers, So it's like
Right.
there's super cool features and cool things to look into, especially for people, like me right now that I live in an apartment building. I can't own a miner,
Exactly.
right? So it's like,
Uh,
how else do I, get involved,
no,
right?
exactly, man, and that's the whole thing that we wanted to make too, that the barrier of entrance was low. I mean, I've missed the boat on a lot of projects just because I didn't have the money to really get into it, or that money was going to other places or projects or stuff. So like this, with DocuShield and with our network, you're literally going to be able to just like take an old computer that you got laying around and install Docker on it, and then run a container that has one of these like preset profiles, and you're up and running, dude. You're off to the races. And so that's really the benefit. We want to make it easy, and we want to make it so that you don't got to have a ton of cash, because again, at the end of the day, like, we need to have an expansive network. Like, that's how we win. That's how we all win, is by being able to just get the community involved. And the more people that are involved, the more reliable that network remains. The uptimes will be better, the speeds will be quicker. I mean, everything revolves around community participation. So, I mean, we have free versions. I mean, you could get in and you don't have to stake anything. And we have other versions. So let me kind of break it down, I guess. There's pretty much two main profiles, right? One of them is people that are writing to the ledger, right? And they're validating transactions. So there's not too much storage requirement that you need, right? It's you could have no storage available on your device really, and still be up and running and helping us maintain the network. So that's one of the profiles. The other profile is for people that do have storage available and want to allocate a certain amount of that storage to the network. Then they would, obviously be a part of the IPFS hosting portion. So they would be, when the documents get uploaded and sharded, they would actually be hosting, those documents there. And when they get recalled, the documents by the owners, they'll grab them right off of that storage device or whatever they're using. So I mean, with those types, we do need a certain amount of uptime that we're going to be required because that stuff has to be readily available. And so like the other the first profile could be up, down, no real requirement for a certain uptime or anything. You get rewarded based on your participation. But then when you get into the storage side, the rewards will be a little greater. But we are going to have like, okay, you have to have at least like a 94% uptime or 95% uptime, or else, you don't get as much of a reward sent back to you. And, because our network relies on that. But again, man, like on all of these, like the barrier to entrance is going to be low. Main thing is we want to get people involved, and I don't want to make it expensive, like I said, because y'all doing us the favor running these nodes and, helping support the network.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I really like the idea. So I had one question. I didn't know, you may or may not know, but for the people that needed the storage, obviously, do you know if you can use basically like an external hard drive and it'll still work as well? Or is there lag or anything? Like does it have to be
Uh-huh.
internal storage, I guess is what I'm asking.
Yeah, no, you can run on a detached storage with IPFS as well. It would just have to be. I mean, it's better if it's on your machine,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
when it
I would
unplugs and
figure
stuff, that
I would
becomes
figure as
unavailable.
much.
But no,
I'd
no,
have to do the old
literally.
reformat on my rig.
Yeah, and we want to include like another thing on the roadmap is when we get the graphical user interface in there, we want to and have its own plugin and stuff. I want to be able to allow users who have a machine or whatever to be able to partition a portion of their machine to say dedicate it to just that storage. So it'll isolate it from the rest of the machine. You'll have that chunk that's dedicated to running the IPFS storage for us, and then the rest of your machine just goes as normal. Also, being able to determine the amount of resources that you're allocating. Like this isn't going to be right off the bat, but that's something that we're automatically looking at on the roadmap. Is how much RAM you're going to allocate towards it. If you have a super machine, but you don't, you're still using it to edit videos and do all this other stuff, then you'll just be able to say, okay, I want to just provide this much and the rest of it, like, don't touch my resources. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Well, it's all amazing features to have, obviously, for sure, and it's
Mhm.
things that it's just user friendliness too, right? I know with a lot of the projects that I look into, it's nice to be able to literally turn it down because yeah, I'm a gamer,
Mhm.
like I like to play games, and but I'd
Mhm.
love to run my mind all 24/7, of the day. So
Mhm.
it's like obviously to do that, you got to be able to tone it down a little bit when you want to use it so you
Exactly.
don't fry your computer completely. But I like the idea of being able to literally just allocate X amount of storage, you know what I mean? And you
Exactly.
don't have to
Yeah.
worry about it anyways. You just don't overload your, drive or whatever. But that's,
Mhm.
you get
And the
worried about that.
yeah, the awesome thing about it, man, is that running IPFS as like our main peer-to-peer network, but privately, so many people have contributed already, to IPFS. So if you go to their GitHub, like there is tons, like hundreds, honestly, of commits of just different plugins and different profiles, different ways that people are using IPFS to kind of custom tailor things to fit their needs. So, I mean, just dude, I probably spent a good like 10 hours one night just like literally digging through the GitHub on IPFS and being like, damn, like they created a profile that does exactly this. And that's like amazing because they don't want to store data, but they want to help the network by validating. So I was like, oh damn, like that's amazing. Like let's use this. It's not like we're gonna have to go in and program this extra exactly from scratch. Like no, like thanks to the open source nature of IPFS, things that we have a jump off point on, and we could just program to fit our needs. So that's been making things like amazingly. It's been allowing us to progress really quick on what we want to do because the community is so strong. And of course, we'll be giving credit to wherever we base that code off of and stuff. But yeah, man, I mean, we're just really grateful for the open source community and to be able to utilize that to bring something else to the table that will provide a service and another way to grant people a little extra pocket change, man.
Yeah, that's pretty dope for sure. I definitely like I as soon as I saw this write up about the nodes, I was hyped for sure. I was like, dude, another node on my radar to get into for sure.
Oh, hell yeah.
So what for yourself, like what kind of rewards are going to be involved for it? Are they going to just be, like a APY based kind of thing, or how is that going to work? Do you
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
specifically how the nodes are going to work?
Yeah, man. So we're gonna base, for the most part, it's gonna be based off of your contribution to the network, right? For the on the validator side and on the people that are updating the DHT table, it's more like, okay, how much participation did you have in there? Because that also links back to how long were you up in the network, right? And then so most of it's gonna be gauged off of that. Now, so you're reading a bunch of different data coming from IPFS from the output, and then having to put um like a monetary weight on there, right? So that's something that honestly behind all the tech and behind the implementation of it and containerizing these solutions, the hardest part has been setting a reward structure that is going to be maintainable. So that's something that we're looking at very carefully. We don't want to say, we're giving this APR and then a month later have to change it because we're like over distributing our rewards that our tokenomics have granted us. So really, after this IDO, we're going to be, consulting with some tokenomic professionals and getting something that's sustainable down. That we're not going to have to change. That we have the long term in mind. So yeah, man, I don't really want to say an exact number because I mean I don't know. I'm not that person that is that great at math. And everything to really be able to lock it down solid. I mean, I have an idea of it, but I mean, when we get these,
Yeah, no,
some
I
people
hear you there.
live and breathe. Yeah, these
Yeah,
dudes,
no.
they live and breathe it, man. Like I'll let the professionals handle that, and I don't want to make that mistake.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
is there going to be any way necessarily, I know you mentioned you were going to be trying to do, obviously the sourcing some, materials to make pies for the community and stuff. Is there going to be
Uh,
a way for people to do like a beta or anything, so to speak?
Absolutely, yeah, man.
Yeah,
So
so
after
there's going to be beta testing for the nodes and stuff.
Uh-huh. Yeah. So we're gonna have a sign up starting next week after we get this IDO, under our belt. We The next step is taking on people for our beta nodes, our node implementation. So we have a private network right now that we're toying with. It's already up. We're passing stuff back and forth. We have things launched. Now it's more like, okay, when we start introducing more people to the network, like we're gonna have to put some people on Flux, some people will be on AWS, some people are going to be on like Linode, and we want to make sure that no matter, or even from your own home machine, we want to make sure that no matter what, or no matter where you're at, that you're interacting with the network in a way that benefits us all. So that's the next thing, is like stress testing these instances that we have, and to fine tuning them, making some changes, redeploying, all that stuff. So during this part of it, we are actually going to be using some testnet coins to distribute to everybody who is participating. And then after, because we haven't done our mint yet, of the well, we've done the mint, but we haven't done the distribution yet, because there's a staking period. So I mean, we're going to be playing around with the testnet coins, and then that way they can't hit the market. And then once everything hits the market, we're going to reward the people who are helping us beta by just exchanging those testnet coins for our mainnet ones. And then yeah, having that pretty much up and ready to go, man. That's the important thing over the next, month and a half, is really stress testing the network. And yeah, the way we're gonna have to do that is just by making mistakes, in the beginning, and seeing how things work. And like I said, man, fine tuning that engine so that it purrs.
Yeah, well, I think I noticed in your guys' original white paper there for the for Docushield, not necessarily just this medium for the nodes,
Uh,
but you'd mentioned that part of the funding is going to be for like hackathons and so on and so forth too, right? Like
exactly.
you have that
Mhm.
in intention that you do want to, obviously being something that is going to have to
Mhm.
be able to boast security. You want to be able
Exactly.
to test the network. So yeah,
Mhm.
so you're going to be offering like bug bounties and stuff like that
Um,
too, right?
yeah. Yeah, yeah, and for a big part of the app, man, for most we can do like regular penetration testing, just like we can hire a company to do pen testing. We can run bug bounties, have people find whatever they can with our standard code. The tricky thing is going to be doing that with the smart contracts, because everybody right now in Kadena is kind of pioneers as far as launching these contracts. So like, who's going to audit really when there's everybody learning? So I mean, that's going to be the thing too, where we're going to really throw out those bounties. It's like, check out these contracts, find a loophole. And yeah, but aside from that, like the infrastructure, I think there is enough companies out there that will really be able to pen test this thing and give us some certification of security that'll put people at ease. But the smart contracts, and then all the technology behind the IPFS containers. But really, like, even if somebody was to somehow get into our IPFS network, right, and look at the files that are in there, like the only thing that's stored on these nodes, or on these servers, is encrypted data. And IPFS starts sharding or fragmenting after 256 KB. So like, if you break into one of these, like, really, you're going to get a small piece of a puzzle, and then that piece of that puzzle is going to be it's going to be encrypted with AES 256, or possibly, depending on the size, we may look at something like called two fish, which is another encryption method that's a little bit quicker. But anyway, yeah, I mean, these things haven't been broken. So you're going to get a tiny piece of a million piece puzzle, and that little piece is going to be encrypted as well. So, I mean, we're pretty confident by the time things get up to the network that, and everything's going to be under, behind, behind TLS layers, and, SSL, on every single connection. So, it's really the security of the app, and then the security, when it lives on your device, and then the security of the smart contracts, so that no funds get drained, and anything like that. But I mean, the other stuff, the encryption, that's tried and true. 20 years. AES 256 has never been broken. And Two Fish has about the same track record. It's never been cracked, but it's a little bit younger, and it's not like the standard, but it's still very reliable encryption method.
Right. Yeah, and I guess as you're saying, I mean, it sounds like, unless you own a quantum computer, which you don't, then you're probably not going to be even close to doing it. So,
Yeah.
you know,
No,
but
exactly.
yeah, no, it's also kind of a kickback to, as you were saying about, more the smart contract side of things. What we saw happen just within the Kadena ecosystem, over the
Mhm.
last week or two, right?
Right.
The bug in the whatever, that's above my technical, I can't remember the specifics, but something
Right,
was
right.
going on that someone could have done some bad news bears to the swap mechanisms, and that
Mhm.
was, it was really great to see. Obviously, I believe it was, KD swap that kind of took the hit at first, but all of a
Mhm.
sudden their competitors, quote unquote, I should say, obviously they both have different things, but CADX and some of the other devs from really, like I said, the
All over.
quote unquote competitors came through
Hmm.
and helped, because
Yeah,
like
man.
you said, it's like we have that vibe in just Kadena right now where like everyone, as you said, are pioneers, and we're not people that are trying to cut others out of the market right now. It's like, no,
Exactly.
like we're going to need to lean on them as much as they're going to need to lean on us probably at one point, you know? And that's the vibe that it's getting, where it's like, no, we might as well be mutual and help everybody because it's all for
Community.
the greater good right now,
Camaraderie.
you know? And it's like, so it's just awesome to see, you know? And obviously with you having to do that, I guarantee every company would love to go through your smart contracts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the CAD devs are like that, right?
Yeah.
They'll be like, sure, we'll look at it for free. You
Yeah.
know,
Get that bounty, baby.
they just love it.
No,
You know,
for
it's
sure.
just nice to see passionate people, you know,
Uh-huh.
passionate people, you know, doing amazing things, you know, in reality.
Yeah, man. And from my understanding, you know, just to kind of like clarify, and again, I mean these my understanding is not as deep as obviously the guys that found the code, but you know, Pact's very secure. Like you can't run it when there's a bug in the code, but that doesn't mean that human error doesn't happen. Like for instance, and this isn't like what happened, but let's say that you're writing a piece of code and you know you're supposed to add two values but you're really tired and then instead you put a negative sign in there, and you know, and it's not a bug. The I mean the code doesn't know that what you were trying to do. It sees a plus or it sees a minus and it just runs that function like, okay, this is what you told me to do, I'm going to do it this way. So I mean, I know a lot of people at first were like, oh, this is supposed to be a bug free system.
Well, I think you got rugged for a second there.
Yeah, check.
Yeah, you're
Oh,
good.
no, yeah, it's human error.
I was like, that was definitely mid sentence.
Yeah, no, human error is really what it comes down to, you know. So
Yeah,
Pact in
yeah, for
itself
sure.
is still great, and I mean, I got loads to learn about it still, but you know, it's still great. But that doesn't stop us from making typos and doing dumb stuff.
Yeah, well, and that's the reality. Is again, I'm no dev myself, so you don't have to worry about that. But I can only imagine, because whenever I look into dev stuff, that's like you said, it's a lot of symbols and a lot of, you know, repetitive kind of stuff. But like you said, if you put like the wrong code, the wrong button in the wrong, or the wrong symbol in the wrong place,
Yeah,
it could be like, oops, you know, like, you know. And obviously, as you said, if you're sitting staring at a computer screen, staring at those exact same symbols, like it's the Matrix or something, for months on end,
mhm.
it's like you might make a mistake from time to time. So
Yeah,
yeah,
totally. Yeah.
but it also just leads into, I think, you know, I don't know if yourself has run into it as, you know, a fledgling Pact dev, that, you know, obviously it's something that a lot of the communities again are working on now, which is, you know,
Mhm.
really the onboarding of Pact devs, but
Right.
also the resources as well, right, to become a
Mhm.
Pact dev. And that's the thing, is like anything, you know, it might not be so once it launches or whatever, but everything's going to have issues. Like you're going to run into problems in every development project. It doesn't have to just be tech, right? So you're going to have those problems come up, and they might not necessarily come up, you know, right away. I mean, hell, look at Solana.
Yeah. No, exactly,
But you
man.
know what I mean? It's like there are plenty of things that make it to mainstream that don't fucking work, you know?
Uh,
At the end of the
no,
day, is what I'm trying to say.
tons,
So,
dude.
you know, it's the idea that everyone still now on Pact is learning and building and
Mhm.
growing, you know, and they will figure it out, because that's what Pact is all about, is again, like,
Mhm.
from what I hear, at least, you know, from what I gather from the people that I listen
Mhm.
to that are devs on Pact, you know, it is one of those things where once you learn how to, you know, use Pact, it's like it's like the sky's the limit all of a sudden, you know, is what
Mhm.
they say, right? Like the possibilities and stuff. So it's, you know, it's obviously there's something there, right?
Yeah, man. And that's kind of like the way we're approaching it, you know, because I have a team that's fucking great developers, man. They could put, you know, software together like nobody's business. But that doesn't mean that, everybody's a functional programmer or has this skill set. So I'm onboarding, next week actually, two Haskell devs, which is, the underlying language under Pack that it was written on, and two Nix devs, which are they're the same. They're Haskell and Nix. But yeah, they know these languages that the Pack code was written in. Like, so if there's something that is inherently wrong with the code, or something we're trying to do that maybe is not supported by the existing code, we want to be able to have on staff someone who's going to be able to say, okay, well, if we make this modification to the language, then we can do what we want to do, and actually know how to go in there and do that. So, I mean, that's really, I think, what I had to stop looking for pack devs and go one level deeper, to really get to the root of what we're trying to accomplish, and what Kadena is trying to do as a whole. I mean, if we can make a commit to the language that benefits everybody to make something easier, then like hell yeah, it's not only going to benefit us, but it's going to benefit everybody who's trying to do something similar in the future.
Well, and in reality, for a document and file storage based company, it's not a bad nod to the community either.
Oh yeah.
Like, hey, we'll help you build the files and store them.
Yeah. No, exactly, man. And so, I mean, people they understand, the language and how it works on a level where it's like they understand not only this language, but they understand the language that wrote this language. Like, then that's like a whole other, that's like inception of of coders.
Smart contract inception. No
Yeah,
way.
smart. There we go. I love that, dude. Smart contract inception. And yeah, man, I'm gonna learn a lot in the process, because by no means am I a functional programmer. I'm a front end developer, and at most, really, I really just enjoy bringing
Bringing the rug.
MVP that we just released. Like, I did the design and the UI and UX on it, but I'm already like onboarding somebody else who's just gonna make it like way prettier, way smoother, and just take it to that next level, man. And that's what you got to do. You got to look for people that have those strengths that you want, and that you need on your team, and invest in that.
Yeah, definitely. And this is I wanted to just give a quick shout out to Fast Miners, and that was definitely going to be the person that I was going to nod to say, "What's up, Fast Miners? If you got any links on Raspberry Pi supplies,
there we go.
Give Docushield a shout." Yeah, we'll get that in the works.
Absolutely, man. I'm gonna slide in their DMs after this.
Yeah, definitely. Well, Fast Miners is the one that I believe they're not I believe they're the new guys that are dropping the new Kadena miner as well. So that's who they're all about. They're all about the smaller bank person, and bringing true decentralization, and working on that. So yeah, I'm sure they know somebody, or they know someone that knows someone.
Yeah. No, man,
they'll be able to hook it up. I've got other people too. Like I said, I've got other people too. I'll be linking you to whoever I know to get that working, because that's awesome.
Network, man.
I think it is. It'd be a super cool feature, and in reality, for you guys, the Raspberry Pis, like as you said, they're affordable too. They're cheap and nice, and so it's not a hard thing to give away. It's not a hard thing to, really kind of spread that, again, decentralization, but not in a monetary gain way. It's like, we can give away 100 of these things, and that is going to cost us like $10,000-$15,000. It's not like 200 grand, or whatever, right? It's like, no, it's something we can just do, Actually, here, Fast Miners wants to pop up here, so we'll see.
Oh, awesome. Hell yeah.
Welcome. Howdy. I think they're still popping up, but yeah, feel free. Yeah. As I said, we're chatting nodes and Pis here with Docushield. They're actually going to be running their network and nodes somewhat. You're going to be able to mine with Raspberry Pis. So yeah, they're welcome, Fast Miners. And yeah, how do you guys feel about, obviously nodes and Pis and all that fun stuff?
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's going on, man? Thanks for coming down.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. Yeah, it's funny you're actually speaking about this because I was speaking to Action CEO maybe like
Uh,
3, 4 days ago, and I pretty much said, what Docushield is doing, is pretty amazing, and it's like the future is pretty great because you can build multiple physical devices, right? So we can have like
mhm,
Docushield USBs where we can fully
uh,
customize it, and you can plug it in, whatever you want, and the moment you plug it in, it links to basically, through the APIs, the DocuShield's backend,
mhm,
and then you have security there. And then you can have
mhm,
enterprise solutions where you can have DocuShield servers and stuff like that.
mhm. Yeah. No, 100%, man. That's exactly what we're aiming at, and the technology's there right now. With these like you said, little tiny USB with like 2 terabytes on it, man, and like these little M2 like cards, M.2 cards that go in the pies that just carry so much weight and so many options, man.
Yeah. No, I think this is great. And one of the things that we also do is we have fast ventures. We're a VC as well, right? And we only
Hmm.
invest in projects that actually have a physical element, like a physical product, as well as a
Right.
virtual product. And I think what you guys are doing is pretty good. Like, and maybe in the future you guys can somehow, have like an
Hmm.
antivirus
Oh,
feature
hell yeah.
where
Uh,
you can scan, if you, let's say if you have a DocuShield USB, right?
hmm. Hmm.
Whatever device you want to plug into, that can be a phone. You can have mini
Yeah,
adapters, or you can be a laptop, computer, tablet, so on and so on. And you can do a full scan of it and stuff like that, Like there's so many
absolutely.
features that I think you guys
Yeah.
can implement.
No, 100%, man. And when we got into, the security and privacy market, just with the DocuShield app, at first, there was just so many people hitting us up for different solutions, like right away. It's such a need
Yeah.
for people to keep their stuff safe in every capacity, like enterprise solutions, front end forms, there's I mean, I could go on for a while. Actually, we're working on an inheritance solution, a wallet inheritance solution, and all these different things are just going to be supported by the infrastructure that we're building on top of, and like something like that antivirus, would be a plugin that we could use, that would just connect to one of our microservices and then talk to the rest of the ecosystem and scan whatever need be. So, I mean, I love that idea. Honestly, I hadn't even thought of that one. And that's how we get most of our
Yeah.
ideas by other people. Like,
Because
yeah.
right now, because we also started manufacturing not just Kadena miners,
Uh,
but we're also manufacturing for other projects.
mhm.
One of them is like a helium competitor called Nodal. You can only mine on your phone, but
Oh,
the
yeah,
problem
yeah.
is you've
Yeah, I
probably
baited
heard
that.
of Nodal. Okay,
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
Nice,
Uh,
nice. So basically now we are taking the whole R&D, manufacturing, logistic, chip manufacturing, everything. So we're doing something with them. So if you guys are ever interested in making a product
mhm.
line, I'll be happy to get on a call with you guys, and like we're pretty fast. Like I can probably whip something up in like maximum 14 days. Have a
Oh, hell yeah.
physical prototype product ready in your hand.
Definitely, man. Let's do it, man. Definitely. I'm gonna contact you, once we get out of the space, and
Of
we'll just, I
course.
mean, that's our next step, man, is getting this network together. So no, man, I'm excited. This is this is actually really great, man, because that's the vision. Just being able to put something in people's hands
Yeah.
that they'll be able to launch and use.
Yeah, that's to me. I like honestly, like crypto is pretty much virtual. Like everything's virtual. But I
Hmm.
love as a consumer the
Hmm.
actual physical elements that
Yeah.
people have, right? So if DocuShield has physical products, this even
Hmm.
makes it even better, right? And
Yeah.
you guys can do is, for example, let's say you guys sell a hard drive, like a DocuShield hard drive, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
And let's say it costs $100, right?
Right.
You can use 10 to 20% of that revenue that will buy back the DocuShield tokens and then burn it, right?
Yeah.
So like
Oh, yeah.
there's so many things you guys can add to it, which I think
Hmm.
with the sale of the hardware can actually help the project in the long term.
Definitely. I mean, just doing that. I mean, everything becomes more valuable. Everything that people are holding becomes more valuable. And yeah, man. I mean, and you guys make beautiful miners. Let me say that new preview you guys gave of that Kadena miner
Oh, just wait what
looks
we
so
have in
clean,
stock.
man.
Just wait what we have in stock. We have so
Oh
much
man.
things in stock, but I can't announce it or leak
Yeah.
it because I have Gold Shell and I Bicklin all in my DMs and all in our group chats and
I was
emails.
curious. I wanted to DM you and ask you, like, so has the shade
Yeah.
started yet or what?
Oh, yeah. They're already trying to figure out, who's chip manufacturer.
Yeah, I was
So
gonna
good luck
say
to
that's
them.
the main thing. I bet they're like, so who's making your chips, dog? Like, yeah, no, give me a break.
Yeah, but I have a big surprise for them, and I actually made a recording of myself about 6 weeks ago, right? And in the
Mm,
video, I show the time and the date I'm recording myself. So um,
nice.
so when shipping actually happens, we're about to announce something that's probably going to break the internet, and everyone that actually purchased a K300 is going to be stoked. And I think Gold Shell is well. I really I can't I really don't want to talk more because the more I talk about it, someone like they can figure out what I'm doing, right? But
Yeah.
let me just say this: when I announce it, and I'm gonna post a video of myself, it's basically it's crazy. It's like a whole big social experiment, you
Mm.
know. And let's just say they're falling for it. Well, they've already fell for it. So now they're thinking, by them changing their price and making different models, they're trying to compete with us, right? But
Mm.
I'm making them believe, yeah, you guys are competing. But when the shipping actually happens, it's going to be a big surprise. So let's see.
You got a burning money right now, probably is what you got, dude.
Yeah,
Trying to
no,
keep
that's
up.
awesome. Well, no, it's one of those things where sadly I wasn't able to get in on one of your guys' miners, but I was able to sell my KD5 for 13K US. So I was
There
like,
you
yeah,
go.
I'll take that real quick before that definitely drops down in value.
Yeah.
Because yeah, it's like one of those things where I really, I'm glad that you guys have shown up and whatever it is that you guys end up, promoing or anything. Either way, I think it's the K300. You guys went with the name. I saw like so many different ones. But anyways, your guys' minor that you're dropping, it's just nice to see that there's someone out there in the mining industry that is thinking about really the disruption side of things because like in my very short time in mining and nodes and everything, it's the battle of hardware. It's like everybody wants to be a miner. There is so many people that are waiting to get into the quote unquote mass adoption phase of becoming miners, but they're not down to spend 15,000 on a Bitcoin miner that they're paying to mine Bitcoin for. They're not down to buy an Ethereum miner that's going to be an oversized paperweight in 2 months or 6 months or whenever the hell 2.0 happens, And so it's just nice to see that there's someone out there that's going to the proper markets, but as well bringing proper prices, and not only the prices, but like what you guys offered just recently with your payment plan, it wasn't a standard payment plan. It's with a hosting and everything. And like for myself, that's why I was like, man, I want to try and sell my KD5 right now. Because if I can afford the 10 grand with the hosting, that solves all my problems. I don't have my hardware and it just does its thing, not financial advice, I'd say, and blah, blah, blah. But, but if you want to get into mining, go check out Fast Miners. They're good guys. But yeah, no, it's one of those things where I'm glad to see that you guys are thinking of, at least options. You have
Yeah.
options for people, and that's what's nice. It's not, no, you have to pay us 50% up front and then 25% before and then full cost on the day, or like, and it's like you never get that assurance of if the machine's even going to show up, like even from Gold Shell. And so I shouldn't name names, but like those machines show up broken as fuck sometimes too, and then you've got to deal with shipping it back to China China and everything, and it takes 6 months, or they don't want to ship you a board. You can't open the thing up because it voids your warranty. Like, everything, it's just like everything is against the user or the owner who just shelled out their life savings for a miner, and that's where it sucks,
Yeah, I agree. I have somebody in Bulgaria. He's been waiting for a gold shell hash board on his KD5, and it's been 8 months, and his miner's turned off. So
Yeah, it's like
imagine,
it's like that, right? It's pretty ridiculous, It's like, well, you literally own a product and you do warranty it, and clearly you have the products to be able to ship to people and for them to fix it. They just don't care, right? It's like, oh, I'm not making 10 grand off shipping him another board, so I might as well just slap it in another machine, call it a KD6, and then send it out for 40 grand, It's like,
yeah. No, all I can say, their days are pretty much numbered. Like in September, August, when I make that announcement, it's gonna get hectic. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not even happy with the price that we have right now. Like I've said it to my community. I'm not happy with the price right now that we're selling it at. I'm trying to make it much lower than that, right? I'm trying to reduce it by another 40% to 50%. That's my goal. And I've told, well, I haven't said this yet, but if somehow I manage to reduce another 50%, what we're currently selling for, everybody that bought already, we'll just send them we'll just refund the extra amount before shipping,
That's amazing.
And see, like, obviously making those statements, you're either you're making it or breaking it on those statements is all I can say, like you're sticking your own neck out there and you're saying that right now, it's one of those things where it is, it's like, and that's, it comes down to, well, it's funny because I actually, and we're speaking about it, so might as well, but it was what I mentioned, on the KD Lite that Gold Shell just released.
I just got offered 50 pieces today, and I can send you a photo.
And see, so like that's what's funny is it's exactly what I said, because at the end of the day, you guys are also resellers. By trade, you guys were resellers, wholesalers, that kind of thing, and now you're getting into the manufacturing side of things, right? And that's, I almost feel like the natural progression that these people should have taken, but clearly they didn't have, I don't know, I don't want to call out resellers and stuff, but whatever, they didn't take it into their own, heart to do it. They were happy collecting that 40 to 70%, which is crazy to me because I bought my KD5 from Coin Mining Central, right? And I had a good experience. I got my miner. It worked, it showed up 7 months later, and so on and so forth. But I overpaid, and now I see those dirty tricks, and I saw when they launched that KD Lite, it really just bugged me because it was like, the leading up to it was, what does the community want? A KD Lite. Okay, now we're trying to make cheap home miners for the people. Blah, 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 blah. And then they release the first batch and they legitimately say it's only available to VIPs and people who have bought a KD6 off of them. Only off of them. And it's like, okay, so you're saying that you just put out a miner for quote unquote the people, and the people being the community who wanted cheap, affordable miners. But then you're only going to sell the first batch to quote unquote VIPs, which we all know are resellers, which are going to sell them out for like 40 to 70% markup, aka not being cheap. And then, but in their mind, it's like, we can sell 20 of them to Coin Mining Central. So that's bam, 20 gone, not 20 individuals, and then someone who's already shelled out 40K for a miner that now isn't even worth 40K itself they want to give them an opportunity to buy a weaker miner. You know, it's like those people aren't going to want weaker miners. They've bought a 40K ASIC. They don't want a fucking cheap at home miner, clearly. So it's just like, it just made zero sense to me. I guess that's my rant of the day about Gold Shell.
No, yeah, I love it, man. And hats off to you guys, man. As somebody who like grew up on layaway and stuff, I mean, just the program you guys have to pay off the miner over time that I've seen. I mean, it's just, dude, that's nobody's doing that. That's legendary, and that's really helping out the community. It's not bullshit saying you're gonna do it. Like that's literally helping out everybody, man.
Yeah, no, I agree because I know because look, I started mining Bitcoin in 2013, right? And I stopped mining in 2016. And the reason why I stopped mining because as hardware came out, it was hard to get, it was expensive, blah blah blah, and so on and so on, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it makes sense, and especially in the current, market conditions where the market's pretty bad, right? Since what happened to Luna and Terra, right? Everything's just taken a dump.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people have lost funds. Well, yeah, some people have lost money on the Terra Luna investment. Some people's portfolios are down. So it's like, how do we, what can we do to help these people pay off slowly, right? We can't do like a credit card thing because it's complicated. KYC, you need a third party licensed permitted company to verify the person and if they're gonna pay and so on. So what we said, okay, we came up with a decentralized way, no KYC needed, and you can finance. So we take care of the hosting, maintenance, electricity, right? All your miner literally mines directly to the wallet that you provide. So our portal, our online portal is coming out just before shipping, maybe 2 to 3 weeks before shipping, where the users that finance, they can log in and they can nickname their miner, they put in all their information and the KDA wallet, and the moment we plug it in, everything mines directly to their wallet. And on that portal, you can make your monthly payments. It's a 1 year contract, like a 1 year finance, and you have the ability. There's no interest as well. So you have the ability to basically pay it all off if you want in 1 day. And if you do that, then we give you an option. Do you want to carry on hosting or do you want us to ship it to you? Right? So it's that's it's something new and no one's doing this. And ideally we wanna grow the whole financing part to make it affordable for everybody.
That's freaking amazing, dude. Yeah, that's what we need, man. That's straight up. We all gonna make it, and you guys are helping us. So yeah. I can't wait to get my hands on one of those things, but it might be a while. Huh?
Well, we have the K100 is coming out the same time as K300, but no one has seen it. I'll probably be announcing it in like 4 weeks, and the announcement will be an actual video of the unboxing of the K100. So everyone's gonna see what it looks like, how it mines, the dashboard, and everything else.
You just announced it, dog. I don't know what you're saying. I was like, hopefully that wasn't the message.
No, that wasn't it.
I'm just messing. No, I know that you've already talked about doing a smaller miner and everything. You've hinted at it before for sure. And again, it's one of those things where, that's actually what I was looking forward to. I was like, I don't know if I'll go for a big ASIC again, just because of where I'm at. I was thinking about doing the layaway just because I knew it was hosted and everything. But I was like, I'll wait. I think again, it's a bear market, right? So it's one of those things where I was kind of hedging my bets as to like, for myself with my KD5 right now, it was at like, around $600 a month in mining. And I was like, hey, if I can get 10 grand for this thing right now, that's like way more than I'm probably going to be able to mine worth of Kadena right now. So it's like, yeah, I can invest into Kadena right now and make quite a bit, right? And then wait for one of those smaller home miners that I can actually run in my current living situation, right? And so it's, that's another interesting fact of, I'm sure, what you're going through, which again, I feel like you kind of have an interesting, obviously, as you said, you were a miner yourself, and now you've been a wholesaler, reseller, whatever you want to call it, and now you're getting into manufacturing. So you've really kind of seen, I would like to think, most of the facets of really the mining or the crypto mining industry, I should say, right? And so
Yeah.
you have a unique perspective on it, and you've been clearly, if you've been mining Bitcoin since 2013, you did since then, sorry, but the ups and downs of mining as well, right? Where
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of these other companies, they're very much opportunistic based companies. They get in and they lock down the market, so to speak, and then they just start pumping out funds. And then they really get to regulate whatever they fuck they do. Like no one regulates them, so they get to say their own prices. If
Oh, we're
Bitcoin
gonna
is,
break that.
you know,
Trust me, I'm gonna break
sorry,
that.
yeah. Well, and that's what I mean is I feel like you have a great, you're very well set up to be that person to, not, if the coin's down 50% next month, well, our prices are going to stay the same. It's like you understand that that's, screwing over your customers. It's like, no one's going to buy off you if you don't reason with them and you don't cater to them as well, right? So it's for long-term business, the mass adoption side of things, the regulatory side of things, when the government starts hating on these companies for the billions that they're robbing people for, it's like you guys will be seen as kind of the white knight, I should say, or the shining light in the dark cloud,
Yeah, well, I can tell you this, right? So right now we're almost, I think, 60 to 65% cheaper than Gold Shell when it comes to the K300 and the KD6, right? The K100, well, I'm pushing it to 70% cheaper, so it's going to be less than $2,000 for the K100, and it does around 2.6 to 2.8 terahash, right? And as of
that's
yeah,
sorry, I just to put that in relation, that's like double or triple what the KD box does, right?
The KD box. So the KD
It's
box
even
is
lower, right?
what? No, KD box is 1.6 terahash,
Yeah,
and there is a KD box Pro which is 2.6 terahash, but it's being
gotcha.
sold. Yeah, I think they're
Like
selling
almost
it
10
for
grand, right? To
five
resellers?
5 point. Yeah, I think Gold Shield is selling them for retail for like 5.5K or $5,000 or something. So we're gonna be
Right.
less than $2,000, right? And at the same time, you know, one second, where is it? Let me get it up. In January, I personally invested. I don't want to say the amount, but I'm basically a 25% stakeholder of a manufacturer in China called Dunson IoT, and I got them approved to mine helium. The cheapest helium miner right now that manufacturers offers around 400 to $500, around those. So our pallets just arrived today. Well, we're going to be making an announcement in the next 24 hours. In stock shipping, $179 for a helium miner. So now we're
Wow.
65, 70% cheaper than all manufacturers out there. So we're not just doing this, you know, for fun. Like we're here to break the monopoly, and we're gonna be disrupting the whole mining industry.
Oh
And
yeah.
they just came in today. They literally just came in today. Like the cheapest you can buy now is for like 400, max 500, I think. Obviously, some places they sell for more, but the ones that we just came up with are three frequencies: the US frequency, the EU, and the AU frequency. And it's $179, and it's
Damn.
already in our warehouse in California as we speak.
So, when are you hiring more bodyguards?
Right? The Gold Shell Mafia is coming for you.
Well, they wanted a meeting from us, but I declined.
No, no, man, I just had to. I had to.
Yeah.
I was like, you're in California. I hate to say it, but there's plenty of Eastern influences there.
No, I'm not. I'm actually not in California.
Just
I'm
messing. No, no.
the whole company's in California, right? Like the
Right, right,
warehouse and
right.
everything.
Yeah.
And yeah.
No, all jokes, all jokes. I've had a few beverages. So I'm joking now. But no, either way, man, it's just amazing again to see that, honestly, it's interesting to see that you're like literally the first of your kind too. And that's what's funny is to this point, everyone has been happy ripping everybody off. And that's the reality, and it's like, they fly the decentralized flag and they fly the we the people flag, and they're literally just collecting cash and really doing nothing with it. They're abusing their customers. They never give back to their customers. They always sell to the highest bidder. It's just everything wrong about a possible business they have just been able to get away with, really, because it's almost been an industry standard, and you guys are breaking those standards, and bringing it back down to where I think it really should be, and where then, the mass adoption will come. And then the prices all around the board will raise, right? Because then more people will be into it. But these are the things that have to happen for that to be possible.
Yeah. Well, we're certainly trying, right? But I think this year is the year, with all the other stuff that's going on, with our casino that's coming out soon. And yeah,
Awesome.
this year's the year.
Hell yeah. I can't wait, man. I can't wait to see more coming out, disrupt the system, in the tire, dude. It's exciting. It's so more than just like a cool, beautiful miner you can get on layaway. There's going to be a shift in tech, and that's exciting as hell.
Yeah.
So, hey, Fast Miner, like, have you guys actually ever thought of making basically like PCs and computers that are made specifically for running nodes? Because I think that could be fun. Like, we were obviously talking about nodes and running nodes, and like my question was, obviously I have a PC, but I game on it, I stream on it, so I can run a node, but there are certain times where I have to turn it down or whatever, and still it's kind of that idea. Have you ever thought of that? Because nodes are becoming huge too, and that could be another, thing. I don't know. Maybe I just figured out the thing, but
Yeah. Well, regarding Docushield, I assume you guys will, like, the node will be based on storage, right?
Yeah, based on storage. Well, there's two types. One's based on storage. The other one's based on just updating the DHT table, up and validating kind of transactions and stuff. So different
Okay,
profiles.
validators.
Yeah, validators, and then there's the guys that actually store the data, and we need both, and the validator one, you'll be able to come on and offline as you like. The people that are storing data, we need them there, with a certain required uptime.
I understand. And so, what happens if, let's say, a person that's obviously, they have a storage miner, right? A Docushield storage miner. So, what happens to those that, like, for whatever reason, they just turn it off? Like, is there some sort of penalty? Do they have to stake before becoming a miner?
Exactly, man. Yeah. So for those, the higher tier ones that have like the higher rewards, you are going to have a certain required amount of uptime, and there's going to be a certain amount of tokens staked, and you could forfeit that if it doesn't benefit the network and it only hurts. Obviously, then we're going to have to downgrade somebody because it's going to be like we said, like a wrench in the tire, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna have ways of monitoring that, using the APIs and just seeing exactly how people are participating and on what level. But besides that, it's mathematically distributed. IPFS is pretty smart. It's kind of like the way RAID works, and I understand a vague overview of how things are rated and backed up, and how it can be mathematically computed to put together any missing pieces of a hard drive that's down. So utilizing that sharding technology and stuff has really put IPFS where it's at, as the next step in a storage solution, a peer-to-peer storage solution.
What about file sharing? Do you guys have that implemented? Like
So
if someone wants to share a file like movies or I don't know, whatever.
yeah. So our way of doing that is like you would upload the document the way you regularly would. It would be secured, and then we would mint an access NFT for whoever you wanted to share that file with. So the CIDs of everything, the content IDs on IPFS, that's how you reference every file. Those are hidden, on our private network. And if I want to share a movie with you, I would essentially grab your wallet address and then mint an NFT that the encrypted data is the CID, the content ID for that movie. And then the only way using, asymmetric cryptography, the only way that would be exposed if it's in your wallet, and unlocked by, the matching public and secret key. So that's essentially like how that works. So yeah, we definitely are doing a file sharing method, and that's going to be how it's done. And then also, if I don't want to share that file with you anymore, I want to allow you to, maybe rent it out or only see it like twice or three times or end at a certain date. We're looking into implementing a burning mechanism for that NFT so that it, after a certain amount of things happen, that NFT burns automatically. But yeah,
Nice.
we're still looking into the actual. That's why I'm onboarding a couple more devs that are really familiar with functional programming and Haskell and Nix, and be able to really tear apart Pact and see what we can do, man.
Yeah. And if you guys had some sort of like a global public database where if someone wants to share a music file or a game or document or whatever, right, or video, they can share it and it's completely public, right? So
Right.
it's like
Right.
back in the days, what was that company called where pretty much we all used?
LimeWire, Napster. What was
Yeah,
it? Yeah, yeah.
Line, yeah, that's
BitTorrent.
it, LimeWire. Yeah,
LimeWire. Yeah, that was the thing. Well,
yeah,
yeah, that's what it is. It's peer to peer. If I
yeah.
have it,
I
I
got a
could share
bunch of
it.
viruses because of that back in the days.
Oh yeah. If you didn't destroy a computer back in the early 2000s downloading music, then you didn't live.
Oh, I used LimeWire until it dicked my computer, and then I was using FrostWire, which who knows what the hell that was. It was probably the same motherfuckers. They're probably like rebrand and steal your shit. But I was
Nice.
also gaming back in the day on like Steam when it was nicknamed Steaming Pile of Shit. And like everything was peer to peer downloads. And we were also on dial up. So you'd be downloading like a peer to peer download for 10 hours. And then your mom would answer the phone and you'd be like, damn it, like, gotta start it all over again.
If you give me permission, I can whip something up in like a week to 2 weeks, fully customized Docushield storage miner. You know?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Let me I'll get you over a container that has, our private network instance, and then we'll go from there, man. That
Sure,
would be freaking sweet. I would love to.
sure. I can whip something up pretty quick and get it shipped to you directly from my warehouse in China, and then you can play around with it. The way I'm thinking, it's going to be like a storage miner, right?
Hmm.
It will have, it's basically a computer, right? So you'll plug into your monitor, and it'll
Hmm.
be like a custom Docushield. You might have to give me like an OS or something for it,
Yeah, yeah,
right?
yeah. I'll give you a containerized solution of it that you can just like kind of deploy. And really, we're going to be using the API. Like you don't even need to connect it to a monitor. We're going to be using it to interact with a web GUI, and then
Nice.
we
Oh,
have, and we'll go to town on it, man.
Sure, definitely. So if you can PM me after this call, then yeah, I'll put that in motion.
For sure, man. Hell yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Awesome.
oh yeah, oh yeah, making connections up in
Hey, man.
here. Yeah, that's what these spaces are all about. That's all I can say. But no, it's honestly, making the connections and really just, I see not only Docushield, but a lot of the partnerships that are coming out of the Kadena network with these people, fast miners, everything like, it's gonna be this is literally the time to build. You know, we're building out of the ashes, so to speak. You mentioned before the Luna, Terra, everything, and that it caused a lot of uncertainty. You know, when UST depegged that hard, USDT also depegged for a little bit, and people thought it was over. You know, some people did, right? So, you know, it very much has caused a lot of uncertainty. There's events going on in the world clearly that are causing lots of uncertainty, you know, on all different fronts. And so it's a bad, I guess it's kind of a weird thing to say, but now is the time to build and really focus on, you know, those little, the future, the investments, the partnerships, everything, because we are those people and those companies that will hopefully make it, you know, but you have to make it through these hard times to prove, you know, that you can hold through. And that's a lot of these crypto companies, blockchains, everything. They're, you know, there's always that impending regulation cloud, right? So it's going to be interesting to see what happens over the next few years. And definitely, I have good feelings. Good feelings. That's all I can say.
Absolutely, man.
Bear market is the time when you build and mine. Like this is what I've done, and it's always paid off. You know, even if you're losing money because of, you know, the token is down and the electricity is up, dude, forget about it. Just carry on mining. Just mine, and in the next bull market, then you sell. Like in a bear market is when you buy miners because the price goes down, is when you buy tokens because the price is down also. And you just have to have patience, right?
Yep.
Yeah, it's interesting, especially with miners. It's very hash rate related, you know. As soon as the price drops, you'll notice that the hash rate drops, and it's like, oh, people are selling their miners, you know.
Yeah. And when people sell their miners, then now you're mining more token, right? Because the hash rate's dropped. So
Yeah, well, and the shitty part about when people start selling their miners is normally the only people buying them are the dudes that have 100 of them already. And they're like, thank you, I'll make it the next 6 months, no problem, you know?
yeah, yeah, that's pretty much the whole game. You know, since 2000 well, the end of 2014, beginning of 2015. Like, you know, when I started mining in 2013, the guys that I met, right? Those guys they all own like mining farms now, pretty much. Some of them are even manufacturers for Litecoin miners and Bitcoin miners, right? So, and this is what they've done. In a bear market, they actually end up buying their miners back from their customers, you know, through a proxy for like half the price or even lower, right? And they just mine with it. And when the market goes back up, they refurb the whole miner, they make it brand new, and now they're reselling it to the same guy that sold the miner 6 months or a year ago. And now that guy's paying double the
It's
price.
awesome. I mean, and that's what I mean is it's a perfect business model, isn't it?
Yeah, in a way it is, but you know, it's. I think it's because there's a lot of amateur people in the space, right? So they hear about crypto, get rich, get quick, buy a Lambo the next day, you know.
Yeah,
And
for
I
sure.
think
No,
I think this is the
definitely.
biggest problem. Like we need to educate the people, right? And like for me, I have one problem with Kadena. For me, it's not easy or it's not UI friendly yet. Like the other day,
Definitely. Definitely.
we had a customer from Bulgaria. He bought 20. No, how many? Wait, he bought 25 helium miners from me, right? Just one guy, and he said, "Hey, I'm gonna pay in KDA tokens." I said, "No worries." He's a friend of mine. I said, "Fine." So I'm searching. Okay, so I'm trying to get a KDA wallet, right? And
Mhm.
he recommended Zelcore. I downloaded the Zelcore app.
Oh yeah, no. I would have
Dude,
said
what the hell
X
is that?
wallet.
Like it's bad. Like it's
Yeah,
complicated. And I've been in the space for a long time, right? And if it's complicated for me, what do you think other people are thinking of it? You know? And this is the one recommendation I have for you guys at Docushield is to
Mhm.
make it idiot proof, literally, like
Exactly.
dummy proof, right?
Exactly.
UI friendly. Like don't put a lot of stuff on the screen, make it simple.
Mhm.
And that's how you get adoption by making something simple.
Yeah, and
Absolutely.
I think that's sorry, Adrian, to cut you off, but I think that's what you guys are going for too. Like we talked about this the other day, you know, when we did our official space, and yeah, like you mentioned yourself, you're like, I want my grandma to be able to use this, which is gonna have to be simple.
Yeah. Yeah, no, 100%, man. And like literally when you pop up our app, you log in with Facebook, right? Connects it right away. Then there's three buttons that you're presented with. One's like secure a document, one's upload, you know, from your device, and then the other one is see the vault. So see all of your secure documents. And then, you know, we have the hamburger menu in the drawer that has like, you know, other options, but really simplicity, man. I don't want it to be like, you know, this crazy you have to go through all this stuff to get something done. And yeah, man. I mean, 100% there with you with the UI, the UX, and we're trying to make it cleaner and with every revision, you know, cleaner and more user friendly.
Well, and as well,
Yeah.
you guys are also doing fiat. You guys are doing fiat on ramps too. So you're not solely based off KDA or anything like that. You can with the Facebook folk and all that jazz, just to have regular USD, whatever currency coming in, you know, and people using it. That, again, the mass adoption and ease of use, you know.
They're not even going to know they're using blockchain, dude. We're going to gamify it and try to present it like credits. Like I use the TouchTunes jukebox as an example all the time because so many people use it. You go into a bar, you know, you load up TouchTunes, you want to hear a song, and boom, you use one of your credits. So we're going to do the same kind of model where you can buy a block of doc tokens and say, I want to buy $20 worth of doc token. And then whenever you upload a document, it just eats away at that balance and until it's depleted. And then it says, hey, you're out, you know, to upload this document, buy some more, and you could put $5 in, $10 in, whatever you want. But you know, kind of making it easy. Then in the end, you're like, what? This is crypto? Like this is blockchain? Wait, really? That's what we're going for.
Well, and as well to touch on that, just because they're out of tokens, they still have access to all their documents, and that's why you also want to do it, right? Because you don't want to be subscription based or anything like that.
Once you pay for the upload and it's secured, like you always have access to that. We're not going to strip it away because you can't pay $10 a month. Like, you know, we're all about that because I've been at a point, you know, multiple times in my life where I couldn't afford $10 a month. I had to pick and choose, you know, what I'm going to have access to and what I'm not going to. So, I mean, that's really important to me on that front.
Well, that's that's really good. Um, Especially, I don't think no other company's doing that. When you know your subscription or you don't pay for it, they just shut you down pretty much. I don't
Yeah,
know
man.
any other company that's allowing you to view your documents and so on.
It's always that's when you need it, really. Is the you know, for some reason, man, that's when it rains, it pours. So like once the subscription gets shut down, that's when you need what you had stored away for just this time when you needed it. And now it's like, damn, it's pouring on me, and now I lost access to this too because I'm broke. Like, you know, I hate that. I hate that feeling. I hate bringing that on anybody's life. And you know, that's what this solution is all about.
Well,
Nice.
and I feel like you mentioned it earlier. It was a brief thing that you were talking about, but you had said the words inherited wallets, and I feel like that kind of leads into the really what people are going to be the many uses for Docushield, but one of them is going to be proper document storage, like wills and stuff like that. So yeah, if someone legitimately passes away, well, you want to be able to pass over your will and everything which you have in your DocuShield. So is that what you meant by inherited wallets? Like you'll be able to pass them down kind of thing?
Exactly, man. And you know, on that front too, it's like, you know, I have all my wallets and I keep everything, you know, inside of a big file folder. And like my girl does not, you know, and that's who would get it. My kid and my, you know, my fiance, she doesn't know how to open a crypto wallet or do any of that stuff. It's I just tell her, hey man, if anything happens to me, go to Mikey. Mikey's my friend on my team, you know, close friend, and he'll show you how to open up this wallet. Like, but now, like, I want to create a solution where I could just say, girl, here, download this app, and then if something happens, provide proof of death to this application. That's a centralized bottleneck, yes, right now, but you know we can figure out how to decentralize it in the future. But for now, we want a solution there, and then once that's provided, that's released to her, and that's it. She gets access to the funds that were held here, or the wallet, whatever the contents of the wallet was. So I mean, that's something that there's a huge need for, and something that I personally I need for my life, because I got all this crypto sitting around in these random wallets that I don't even check. I don't even know the values right now, but if something happens to me, I want them to be able to open those up and have access to it and utilize it, so I'm not a burden after I pass.
That's pretty. Yeah, that's. I love that whole idea, especially like you said, right? A lot of people, especially family members, for example, use your fiance. Like it's
Hmm.
probably difficult for them to open a crypto wallet, get your private keys, and they might get scammed in the process, and so on and so on. So it's always good to have like a secure backup that you can leave, you know, to
100%.
your family.
Hmm. Yep. Yeah, and it's more and more common, that there's people in crypto that just like us, man. And then, once we pass, our family doesn't know that, hey, we don't have to do a car wash to pay for this. Like, this dude has a bunch of KDA sitting in this wallet right here, but it's just never used or never known or anything. And, so we definitely want to change that. So make it in a way, everything is going to be done in a way where we make it easy for non-crypto users, and that's all with the UI and the UX. And same thing with the miners. That's why we're going to spend so much time developing these APIs and connection points, because we want to make it easy for people to participate in the network. So that's all by design. you know
Nice. And one more thing I would love to recommend to you guys, like I said before, the antivirus, having
hmm
that, and potentially down the line having a VPN, right?
yeah.
Which the miner itself can basically become a storage miner for the documents, as well as offering, connection and having multiple nodes around the world which users can connect to.
Yeah. No, it's amazing. See, and that's like, I'm gonna go write those down too. And I'm telling you, man, we get these amazing freaking ideas around privacy and around security from everywhere, because there's a need. And now that we're gonna bring that platform for us and for other developers to build on top of, completely based around privacy and security. And so, I mean, that's what we're trying to do, man. And what gets me going in the morning.
Awesome, awesome. And I think Cameron, he mentioned that you guys had a fiat on ramp where even if the user doesn't have crypto, like the Docushield tokens, they can still.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, right now there's the common one. There is Simplex, the one that everybody is used to, and has about, what, 10% fee. But also, I seen that Kadena just announced a partnership with Transact, I believe it's called, to have the fee on ramps. So we're definitely going to explore our options and have that be a way. And of course, Docushield, it's a wallet by nature, even though we're not really marketing it as a wallet. So you can always just transfer some KDA in there, or some doc into there, the regular old Web3 way, or you could use the fiat on ramp and get it in there. And as regulation changes and stuff, integrate with PayPal, do things like that. It all depends on where you're located at, really, what we can do. But I mean, just making it easy, man. That push to connect, boom, I'm in my PayPal account. Let me buy some doc tokens so I could secure this file.
Nice. And what if a user just wanted to pay with their credit card or debit card, where they can just pay you guys dollars? And then I think that makes it so much easier for the average person that's not
Mhm.
into crypto. And with those dollars, you guys can basically buy back the tokens from the market.
Yeah. No, that was actually one way with another like little project that I had bootstrapped before, to try and get around it. Was like, we would take the payment in cash, and then later we would transfer that into we were I was trying to build on Stellar before anybody was building on Stellar. Now tons of people are building on Stellar. But yeah, and make that transaction kind of like manually and get those tokens out. But I mean, again, it just comes down to regulation and what's available, and like, we're really trying hard to stay within the bounds of what we can and can't do. And that's one thing that's awesome about being able to customize IPFS, and about working with Flux, is there's ways to be able to see the geolocation of this specific miner, so that if I have stuff that I need to be HIPAA compliant, which is, health, privacy, or data localization for, like, a bank or a law firm, like, we can custom tailor a network specifically for that using the tech. So I mean, it really, regulation is key, and regulation is what we need to be completely in compliance with to be able to move forward and go where we want as a company.
Nice.
Yeah. So whatever the big man says, I mean, that's what we're going to try and abide by for now, and maybe put out some, like, shadow apps and stuff that do what we really want to do. I don't know. I never said that.
I have sorry, I have one question for you guys, or maybe Cameron, you can answer it, or anyone else that's listening in. I know that Kadena, they have $100 million grant, if I'm not mistaken, correct?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they
Have
definitely do.
Okay, have they actually used any of those funds to support, for example, you guys, Docushield, or these other mining NFT projects that's coming out?
Not.
So yeah, so they're actually going to be. Sorry to cut you off again, there, Adrian. They have just announced. If you check out Kadena's page on Twitter, and like yesterday, they announced their kind of like loose roadmap for the next like couple weeks or whatever. And at the end of it, they are going to be showcasing their first batch of allocation of the funding. But I will tell you that I know for a fact they portioned 10% of it, so 10 million, to specifically Luna and Terra developers. So anyone from Luna and Terra who wanted to make the change, they were offering them up to $10 million of the chunk. So there was that, and then yeah, they're going to be announcing who they're putting their money into. But I talked, or sorry, I didn't talk personally, but I saw a couple of their interviews, at least Stewart as well, and they were heavily saying that anyone should apply. But in that case, I think they're looking for like legit startups to help build. So the fact that like Docushield and stuff is attached to like an IDO with Katie launch, I don't want to put words in their mouths or anything, but I think they might not go for that because they're trying to go for like the more builder side where these guys are already building, they have their funding, they're, doing their IDO and stuff. And so I think they're going more for literal, like, other than the Luna Terra projects where they're kind of, I mean, I hate to say they're trying to buy them out, but hey, fuck it. If someone's going to give you money to build on their network, it might get you through the next 6 months, right? but it is a tough sell, right? Because as you were saying kind of earlier about yourself with the wallet problems, is Kadena is still a very young network and young blockchain, and there's a lot of work to be done on the marketing and everything, right? So I don't know. I hate to say it, but that might sway their decisions. I would think too. Is
Yeah.
I kind of feel like they're probably going to go for some of the more unique / marketable / everything, and that's not to say that anything that isn't on the list isn't marketable or anything, but you know what I mean. Like I think that's going to be their aim.
Mm-hmm.
I understand, but to be frank with you, I like I'm an activist investor, right? And I find that the way they're trying to do it is very wrong, right? I see a lot of projects like Kadena is very new. Like let's be honest, like we all know
Very new,
Kadena, but
very new.
like it's very new. For them to come out with $100 million grant in the beginning, well done, okay? But
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of projects, right? On Telegram, on Twitter. I can name a few. For example, we have Docushield in this call. You guys, in my opinion, they should, like, obviously, we're not saying go and give Docushield $10 million, right? Whatever, right? Make a deal with them, give them 50,000, 50. At the end of the day, Docushield is the startup, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even 5,000 is a lot of money. That can pay for hosting and servers and some other stuff, right? And 10,000, 20, 50,000, 100,000, whatever. But I think they need to start thinking about the smaller projects as well. Because
Yeah.
I see at the end of the day, you know, I'm going to name a few. So there's a bunch of NFT projects out there that I've seen. And I think we have one here. So we have the Full Spend Yacht Club. I spoke to those guys. Those guys are amazing. And the person that's running it is very good as well. Like I spoke to him, he understands this thing. We have
Yeah,
Docushield.
so
We
it's
have
the
miners
mining.
of
Yeah,
Kadena. Miners of Kadena. Like at the end of the day, these small companies are spreading Kadena out even more, right? And
yeah,
I what
yeah.
I what I hate to see is just a random guy just coming that has a name in the crypto industry and saying, "Hey, give me this much money, I'm gonna build this, blah blah blah." And because he has a large following, Kadena is gonna go ahead. Okay, here you go. Here's $500,000, 100,000, a million, whatever, right? This I
Hey,
hate.
that's understandable for sure.
Because at the end of the day, the only reason why I found out about Kadena was because of a small NFT Kadena project a while back. That's the only reason why I found about it. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had no idea what
And then
Kadena
I
was.
think it was Action who bugged you about making a miner, right?
It
More
was
or
him.
less.
He's
Yeah.
been bugging me for a
Yeah.
year. I said, okay, I'm gonna do it. Just leave me alone. Yeah. So
Yeah, no.
like,
Well, and that's the thing is Action does good work because he knows, right? And that's the thing is, as you're saying, it's something that I've noticed myself. I mean, I don't want to put anybody on blast or anything, but I was one of those people where I started my crypto journey literally with Kadena. Like, yes, I, paid attention to crypto prior to that, but I took the deep dive, spent my life savings on a miner and hit and I tell it to everyone. I got lucky. And you yourself, as fast miner. Sorry, I don't know your name. I keep calling you fast miners, but it's you yourself know that as much as anything, it's like investing in a shit coin when you invest in a miner that is unproven. I invested in a miner that at the time I looked at it and its ROI was like 2 years. And I was like, hey, if I'm making a $20,000 investment at the bank, I'm not making my money back in 2 years. And that was my justification mentality. And I was like, and then if Kadena, which I had read that white paper and the optional other white papers for miners at the time, and I personally believed in Kadena's potential the most. And so I bought the miner. Come October, I hit the lottery. Literally, I hit the jackpot. All of a sudden, everyone who told me I was fucking crazy was like, can I buy a miner? And I was like, well, you can buy one for 40K now. And it was like, so it was, I tell everyone I hit the jackpot just as much as anybody else, and then I started my journey down the crypto hole. And yes, we've waited for a lot. Like Kadena has not been without its issues. I toted the CADX flag very early on and said they're going to be ready. They're going to be ready. And they weren't fucking ready. And I wasn't able to KYC and I wasn't able to invest and blah, blah. It was just so much was, off. And it's the growing pains, right? And what you're saying now is exactly true, is where Kadena as a company, they have a very tech-based mentality. They're a small team, and I don't think they want to bring a lot of other people in. Like you'll even notice that the actual people giving out the $100 million aren't Kadena. It's Kadena Eco. So it's an actual different company that has a different CEO and everything that's giving out the grants for Kadena because Kadena doesn't give a fuck, and that's just their mentality. And some might see it as a crutch, but for myself, when I look at the top 20 blockchains or the top 20 by market cap coins, in my mind, they're all shit coins compared to Kadena. It's like when you look at what their developers are doing, they're never trying to pioneer. They're never trying to come up with unique solutions. They're never trying to batten down the hatches. They're never trying to do these things that really, that's what the Kadena team is all about. Is they're about bringing brand new innovations to crypto and solving all the issues, you know, quote unquote, I should say, solving all the issues, right? And so that's what they're focused on, which again, kind of is a double-edged sword for your mass adoption, as you're saying, right? It's like, well, if you're a tech-forward company, then if you can't explain anything or onboard or on-ramp users or even developers, which we're seeing a rut in because of the packed solidity, you know, blah, 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 you know, there's a lot to it, right? There's a lot to it. But yeah, I'm not disagreeing with anything you're saying there because you're right, you know. But it's interesting to see as well as a nod to what you said is where you only heard about Kadena from a small NFT project. And that's what I want to mention is that a lot of these absolutely garbage chains, they have unreal communities, and they've been able to make it into the top 20 market cap based off community alone, which is unreal. But in reality, that's how we work, you know, that's how you grow organically and so on and so forth, you know. And so that's where I'm at is like Kadena, at least they don't try and shill their own shit too hard. You know, even the $100 million grant, when they said that 10% of it was to Luna and Terra, Kadena didn't even announce that. It was just Stuart Popejoy in an interview saying, yeah, we're going to give 10% for sure, at least to Luna and Terra if they want to come over. And that was it. They didn't really even market it or anything, like you're saying.
But I'm pretty sure they're doing that for marketing reasons, right? Because
well, for sure, it's trying to, like I said earlier, it's trying to buy them out. You know, it's a marketing stunt for sure. And that's the thing is, like you're saying, like
why don't
a
you
lot
help
of
the
those
projects now? Like the problem I'm having is why don't you help the projects right now that you have in front of you that are pushing your programming language pack, are pushing the KDA token.
Well, and I think they're trying. I think they are. You know, I think they are in reality, right? I think, you know, that's the thing is I don't know. In reality, I can only say I think, right? I'm not a company, and I definitely, you know, I wasn't even really able to get Stuart on a community chat. In reality, you know, we tried, but then he went to other folks with bigger views, right? But it's, you know, again, it's marketing, it's growth, you know, it is what it is, right? So, you know, we are very much myself. I am one of the community, you know, and so I hear exactly what you're saying again, because it is the truth, you know. There is huge marketing things that need to be done, but I understand what you're saying because every company or every startup I've seen, you know, especially, I mean, a nod to the KD launch folk because Timpy first and now Docushield, like both of them are fucking groundbreaking. Like they need to happen and they will happen. And it doesn't matter. I mean, I hate to say if even Kadena doesn't facilitate to them because as yourself said, somebody else probably will, you know, like it's just the people coming to the chain and the people wanting to build here are just amazing, you know? And so I think that's, you know, yes, it's a downfall to the company that they don't focus on that. But I think either way, we're here and the community is here and it's fucking amazing, you know, regardless of if they are there to support them, you know. I almost feel like these guys don't need to support because they're the pillars of the Kadena network, you know. Like Docushield is building the Kadena network just as much as Kadena is. Timpy is, you know, Kadena Kongs are, Full Spend Yacht Club, the miners of Kadena, you know, not only that, but also Fluxes capabilities are being brought into the fold, like everything, mining, and where on other blockchains do you see mining NFT companies and Docushield and all these it's just fucking NFTs or the coin, and that's it. It's profile pictures of the coin, and that's it. It's no groundbreaking technology. But that all is being built on Kadena, and so I think that's where it comes to. It's like, yes, marketing, but I can only imagine if I was a fucking dev that spent 24 hours of my day in front of a computer, the last thing I'd want to talk to you about is marketing. That's the simple fact.
Yeah, and to kind of play devil's advocate here, I did apply and I got a really nice response, from Kadena Eco about it. Just go ahead and reapply again, blah blah blah.
Wait, what? Wait.
Oh, I was gonna say, and he gets rugged as soon as he goes in.
Parts of the infrastructure. So I mean,
yo, Adrian, you're cutting out. You cut out literally as soon as you said I put in and they gave me good words. You cut out.
Yeah, no. So I'm just trying to say, I think they're looking for people to build infrastructure, right? People to come in and build like DAO tooling, to build bridges, to build things like that. It feels like that's what, and I'm not trying to speak for them, but it feels like that's what the 100 million's for. And I get it. Like, we don't have DEX tooling, we don't have bridges, we don't have, any kind of wrapped tokens really on our end. And so, I mean, I don't blame them for, I believe that's what the focus is for the grant, for people that are doing, that kind of cross chain stuff and the kind of the tooling that we need to run as a functional chain, which is, I mean, it sucks for smaller projects like us, but it's great for the ecosystem as a whole in the long run, so I mean, like, definitely not trying to throw like shade or anything, but yeah, I think I get it. I mean, we'll see with the next few projects that get onboarded and stuff through that, but I'm really hoping that we can really get some of those that cool tooling that we're missing, through those grants.
Yeah, I hope so as well. But I don't know, maybe it's because, like I said, I'm just an activist investor. So the way I see it is, if like these small projects are the ones that are pretty much building the base layer, the infrastructure of the building, right?
Right.
And have they retweeted you guys, or have they made any tweets about you guys in any way?
I think we were referenced once on the main Kadena page. I mean, I think Keanu, my mod, he's in here right now. Clap if you told me that. I think he told me once. Yeah. So I think I have seen, a nice nod and stuff towards us, and I mean, they just got their priorities, for sure, and it's it's on a higher level. So I mean, I don't think that they're ignoring us on purpose. I just think that they got focuses, that include shit that we need, man, like bridges or like wrapping solutions or DAO tooling or whatever, fiat on ramps,
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, man.
Well, it's a new project. Let's see how it goes. But it's this
Okay.
is something this is something that's been back of my mind for a while now. So I was just wondering, because I've seen like your project, these NFTs, and I've seen like Timpy, sorry, the guy they're based in New Zealand, I think. Uh, yeah, like
As hell.
yeah, I'm expecting those guys to at least get something. Like, if those guys don't get a piece of the pie, like, I'm not even saying like a big pie, right? I'm not talking about $1 million, like even something small like 20,000, 50,000, whatever, right? If
Right.
they don't get it, then I'll be pretty upset. It will make me rethink a lot of stuff.
Yeah, they're literally recreating the internet, man. No, for sure. I have so much love for that project, man, and I'm very bullish on it. It's really groundbreaking what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yep. But yeah, man, Cam, what's going on? We I think we're like getting at 2 hours, so I don't
I
know.
was like, it definitely went longer than I was thinking, for sure. I was glad. I mean, yet again, we've been chatting many things, so it's been good chats either way. Hopefully, in reality, we're also here to chat, just nodes and pies and Docushield, and mention that, for sure there's a fair distribution round popping up on Docushield pretty quick. I think tomorrow or something. I think Adrian might want to mention that real quick.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's definitely something I am looking forward to. Yeah, fair distribution round starts tomorrow. I mean, we're trying to build, and with people in the ecosystem like fast miners, like Cam, like Hidden Profits, Full Spend, everybody in the space. I mean, we're gonna build something great. Big shout out to Terra Spaces too, who's right here, who's been doing awesome covering the Kadena ecosystem and all the spaces here. But I mean, yeah, man, we're here to build, and our IDO is very important to us. It allows us to continue at the pace that we've broken our pockets building at, and we are going to continue just to bring on devs and bring on talent and add to the code repositories and comment whenever we learn something on the existing code base. I mean, we're here to build, and so you'd be really helping whoever wants to get in the IDO. There's still time to KYC. You could do that at kdlaunch.com, and you could allocate whatever your heart desires towards our infrastructure and the future of Docushield. And no matter what it is, man, we appreciate it, and we're lucky to be here in the position where we're at to keep building and continually do what we love.
Yeah, no, and I just want to say thank you very much for thinking of me for hosting a space and all that jazz. And no, it's been fun. No, honestly, learning about the nodes and learning about the pies and getting fast miners in here as well, and really just showing that, again, we're all just building on this network and everything, and everyone in reality, when you look to the right people, we're all looking to work together and just succeed together, and that's what I'm liking. And obviously Fast Miners is in here. He mentioned that he's a part of possible VC funds, and they're looking into Docushield. So come on now. I mean, not financial advice, but people are checking it out, so that's all I'm gonna say.
You got them miners. I'm hoping, yeah, we're gonna collab up. I'm definitely gonna holler at Fast Miners, and hopefully we can get something in people's hands, man. I'm excited as hell for that.
Yeah, I'm very excited as well. I'm gonna whip something up in 14 days,
Hell,
and we and then you can leak it out to the community.
beautiful. Y'all heard it, man. Y'all heard it. So yeah, we're gonna get over that. I'll get you over the resources, man, and let's build. Oh,
Perfect.
all right, man. Hey, shout out to Kongs
Yeah,
too.
good luck.
I'm like, as the rug commences. But no, yeah, I mean, honestly, all I wanted to say is thanks again, Docushield, for coming through, and thanks for chatting, or Adrian, I should say, and Fast Miners. Again, I haven't learned your name, actually, which I feel bad about, but yeah, Fast Miners, thanks for coming through, Adrian, and yes, you shouted out Finn from Terra Spaces there. Hopefully we'll get you some money, at least from somebody. Cryptnaut from the Kongs, the Full Spend Yacht Club's in here. That's probably Riley, possibly, who's around. So thanks for coming through. Earnmos, either way, Earnmos is actually on Cosmos and the IBC, and that's the thing, is hopefully we get that interbridge connectivity going on pretty quick. And like, the world's our oyster, at Kadena over here right now, so let's just keep communicating and spreading the knowledge and really working together, and we're building. It's amazing to see, especially in these crazy times. It's like when we can fall back on communities, fall back on our members, fall back on friends. That's what we need in these hard times, so just keep your head up and look around and try and take advantage, because I hate to say it, but all those people who are more than wealthy enough, they always take advantage when everyone else is down, so we got to do kind of the same, sadly enough.
Yep. All right, man. Well, I learned a lot, man, on this session. It was definitely cool. Thanks again, Cam. Appreciate it, man. I'm gonna duck out and shoot an email over to Fast Miners real quick, and enjoy your mac and cheese, brother.
Oh yeah, we got two ways mac and cheese now because there was totally too much to fit in the crock pot. So we got baked mac and cheese and crock pot mac and cheese, man. And I got a big old bottle of Jameson to hold me through the night, so it's all good. And then anyone who likes fights, my boy Ode Osborne is fighting on the UFC card tomorrow, and fucking kudos to him because he's gonna knock out a Dagestani or fucking Russian or fucking Chechen or wherever the fuck he's from, but he's from somewhere over there.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. All right, let's watch it, baby. All right, man. Thank you, Cam. All right, I'll see everybody later.
Yeah, thank you guys.
All right.
Yeah, everyone have a good night and everything. Good day, good morning, good evening, wherever you are in the world. And anyone who comes through the recording or anything, thank you very much for listening. And yeah, any likes, retweets, shares are much appreciated from everyone. And yeah, again, you guys all have a good day and a good weekend. All right.
All right. Peace.